Hello, friends. You know, sometimes I think of stress as that relative who shows up at your house without notice, barges straight into the kitchen, empties the fridge, eats all the mangoes, and then, oh dear, smiles and says, "I'm staying here now." And when you finally gather the courage to ask, "So, when are you leaving?" they give a mischievous grin and reply, "Leaving? Oh no, I live here now." That is exactly what stress does. It arrives uninvited, overstays its welcome, and consumes our inner peace. But today, we'll learn how to gently escort this unwanted guest to the door, not with anger, not with hatred, but with compassion, clarity, and perhaps a touch of humor. So what does the Buddha tell us? He says suffering, dukkha, arises from attachment, from craving, from resisting reality as it is. And what is stress, really? It's a tug of war with the present moment. Stress means saying, I don't want this moment to be this way. I want it to be different. We push, we pull, we cling, and inside we shatter. The fascinating thing is, modern science, with its tireless neuroscientists, is now saying the very same thing. When we deny reality, our nervous system collapses. Cortisol spikes, the heart races, and the brain becomes a battlefield. We end up fighting with shadows. But the spiritual path teaches the opposite, to drop the sword, to make peace with the moment. So today, let us explore 6 profound, practical, and spiritual ways where ancient wisdom and modern science meet like old friends. 1. The art of breathing, returning to the present. Imagine your mind as a vast ocean. The waves are your worries, deadlines, regrets of the past, and fears of the future. Most people spend their whole lives trying to stop or chase these waves. But tell me, has anyone ever managed to stop the ocean waves? Impossible. The secret is you don't need to stop the waves, because you are not the waves. You are the ocean itself, deep, vast, still. The waves are only temporary ripples. This is the miracle of mindfulness. One day, a student came to me, eyes weary, shoulders heavy with office burdens, and said, "Master, I am drowning." I told him, before every meeting, before every phone call, before opening any email, take 3 conscious breaths. 3 breaths. No incense, no bells, no lotus posture, no 6-hour retreat. Just 3 breaths where you truly return to your body. 3 months later, he returned, transformed. He said, "Master, those 3 breaths have become my anchor in the storm." Science agrees. Conscious breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's natural calming response. It's like the body whispering, "You are safe," and the body believes it. 2. The wisdom of letting go. Here's a curious truth. The more we try to suppress stress, the stronger it grows. Ever notice this? At night, you tell yourself, "I must sleep, I must sleep, I must sleep." And what happens? Sleep never comes. Now you're stressed about being stressed. Stress times stress equals double suffering. The Buddha taught the art of letting go. It's like clutching a burning rope. Our hands blister as we cling tighter. But the moment we release it, the pain dissolves. A gentleman once confessed, "Master, I check my email 50 times a day." I smiled and asked, "What if you checked it only 3 times?" He gasped, "Impossible! The world would collapse." But he tried. 3 weeks later, he returned a new man. The world had not collapsed. His stress had. Psychologists call this cognitive reframing, changing not the external object, but our relationship with it. Buddhists call it detachment. Different words, same freedom. 3. Compassion, transforming stress into love. Strange but true, most stress arises from self-centered thinking. My deadline, my failure, my future. Stress breeds in the fortress of I, me, mine. But when we shift our attention outward, everything changes. When we cultivate compassion, send blessings, and care for others, cracks appear in that fortress, and stress quietly vanishes. In my early monkhood, I was sweeping one day, grumbling with fatigue and inner storms. My teacher looked at me kindly and said, "Why not offer this sweeping as a gift to others, not just for yourself, but for everyone who will walk this path after you?" I tried. Suddenly, sweeping was no burden. It became a prayer. Science echoes this too. Compassion meditation increases oxytocin, lowers blood pressure, and enhances happiness. When we shift from "how will I survive" to "how can I serve," stress melts into meaning. 4. Impermanence, the great medicine. A hard yet liberating truth: everything changes. Yes, even your pain, your problems, your deepest stress. But in the midst of stress, we forget. We think, this will last forever. I'll drown in debts, exams, failures for life. A young man once wept before me. "Master, my girlfriend left me. I lost my job, and even my dog doesn't wag its tail at me anymore. Life is over." I asked him, "Back in school, during exams, didn't it feel like the world was ending?" He nodded, half smiling. "Yes." "And where are those problems now?" He laughed. "Gone." "Exactly," I said. "This pain will also pass." Neuroscience confirms this. The amygdala exaggerates threats, making us believe this will never end. Yet nothing is permanent. Not joy, not sorrow, not stress. When we embrace impermanence, we breathe easier. If everything must pass, why fight what is already leaving? 5. Simplicity, the uncluttered mind. Modern life, how complicated. Thousands of apps, endless obligations, countless decisions. Each decision drains the brain. This is called decision fatigue. The Buddha lived with simplicity. One bowl, one robe, one life. He never worried about upgrading his sandals. You too can practice simplicity. Silence unnecessary notifications. Clear some space in your home. Eat simple food. A woman once said, "Master, my house is full of things I never use, yet I cannot let them go." I smiled and told her, "When you clutch old shoes too tightly, your feet have no room to step forward." Science agrees. Minimalism lowers cortisol, increases focus, and enhances joy. Less is not less, it is freedom. 6. Trust, faith in the path. At the heart of it all, stress thrives in uncertainty. Will I succeed? Will I survive? Am I safe? But with trust, not blind faith, but confidence born of experience, the burden lightens. Trust is like a lantern in a dark forest. It doesn't remove the forest, but it shows the way. The Buddha said, "Be a lamp unto yourself. Trust your path, your practice, your wisdom." A friend once admitted, "Master, I fear the future." I asked him, "Have you faced hardships before?" "Yes." "And did you endure them?" "Yes." "Then the strength to face tomorrow already lives within you." Science also shows prayer, chanting, and meditation calm the prefrontal cortex, reducing fear. Trust itself is medicine. The invitation of stress. So, my friends, stress is not our enemy. It is a messenger. It whispers, something within you longs for peace. Something within you is ready to let go. Stress is not punishment, it is an invitation. Buddhism teaches liberation is not the absence of suffering, but the presence of wisdom. And today, science is saying the same thing. So let us take a deep breath, gently release it, serve with compassion, embrace impermanence, live simply, walk with trust. And the next time stress knocks on your door asking for mangoes, don't serve them. Instead, smile and say, "Ah, dear guest, I recognize you, but tonight my house is full."